well. There's 3 or 4 lots, I think. We have to start with where we picked you up from, of course, the pier. It's a Victorian pier. It was built between 1866 and 1868. It used to belong to the hotel many moons ago when I was a little boy. But in 1994 they had a major fire and it destroyed quite a portion of the hotel and the pier. And there's only a little bit of the pavilion left. It's the only evidence we've got to show you, actually. But as we get closer to it, it's just on your right hand side. As we come here, you can see through the gaps in the fence here now on your right. You can see all the old Victorian ironwork there. Now, as I said before, the pier and the hotel used to belong together, but since 1994 they couldn't afford to restore, so they separated them both. And now the hotel belongs to Britannia Hotels, and the pier belongs to Blackpool Piers and Tierprince Raceway Company. It is the longest pier in Wales, 100 metres long, and every time they've rebuilt, restored, they've extended it a little bit. The land demolished it, so they built this over the... This was supposed to be the terminal mines and had to pay compensation to Lord Mostyn, who started the town of Llandudno with his compensation. This waterway that we're just skirting around, this is the Bay of Llandudno here. Further on out it's the Bay of Morecambe with the Isle of Man in, and further across to your left is the island of Ireland. And we have ferries, we have the super cruisers. They come to Liverpool and Heysham, 2 big docks here on your right hand side. Those turbines on your right. And we have ships that come for limestone behind the Great Orme behind us. And they come virtually every day. We never know what we're going to see when we get out here. So, and it's a beautiful scenic drive, especially when the day is nice and bright and sunny like this. So I've got to just have a chat with the young lady on the gate. She's very pleasant and jolly, and she will give you a little wave. Sometimes she uses both hands. As we come across the cattle grid, we've got to talk to you about the mountain, of course, that's why we're here. It is the Great Orme, it's a Viking, as are the mountains of Snowdon that we're going to see shortly. Fauna and the animals we used to have, because apparently back then it was quite exotic. And of course it tells you about the animals that you could watch him do his thing whilst you were having your lunch or your breakfast or whatever. Unfortunately, he did come into it, and it does have a lot of his memorabilia still in the cafe. There's a life-size statue, a pair of his signed gloves and shorts, and a few photographs of his mum. Abergele, Pensarn, Hemel Bay, Towyn, Rhyl, Prestatyn, Melodon, Bissa. And that's that mountain going out into the... Pointed out to you again just before we continue on with it. But it's just the way it is sometimes. It's where the angles, you know what I mean? As we come around here, left hand turning in, you're going to see over here on your right hand side, you can see the mesh on the front of the mountain. You can see other buildings here as well, but the closest one of them to us, you can see up on the ledge at the back up against the rock face where the trees are, you can see the Church of St Tidno up there. The gable end of it we can see. It's 1400 years old and it was built by Irish monks. Now originally when the Irish monks rowed across the Irish Sea here, right, they spent a few days on that water, and wow. As they come across the Irish Sea, they would have probably landed here. They climbed the rock face, shelter. Much later, a few hundred years later, they converted it into a church. But of the time, the ones that followed would spend overnight, possibly a few days, depends how bad the storm was, and then they'd just move inland. And they were trying to convert the Welsh to the Catholic religion. And they named an awful lot of our villages and towns along, all across Wales, not just the North Wales coast. We never know until we get there, so as we go past it, we're going to let them pass us. this portion of the mountain, actually, this headland that we're on now, actually down at sea level here to your right, there's an awful lot of caves, and they were used for smuggling predominantly. Although there is a story about 2 German spies that came on your right hand side. You can see down at sea level on your right, a couple of ships moored just off the end of Anglesey at Amloch. As you can see on your right hand side, it's going to disappear behind the mountain now. As we get to the top here, you're going to be able to see Anglesey to your right. You're more than welcome. It's just out here in the bay on your right hand side. We stop on the left here, just as we pull a little bit further out so we're not blocking the road. We just stop here so we can get out nice and safely on the left hand side. Can I